Be the Best You podcast. The sole purpose of this podcast is to teach, inspire, and motivate everyone to be the best versions of themselves. Welcome everyone to the Be the Best You podcast by Larry Dawson. If you're watching or listening today, please take the time to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Without your support, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you to everyone for supporting my show. I want to talk to you today about being a man in 2023. It's definitely a lot different than it used to be. You know, you had the men of the 70s, 80s, and 90s that were the masculine men. You had the TV shows of Baywatch and the movies of Rambo and masculinity and men coming right at you. And then we had the switch to now where, you know, we're supposed to be super in touch with our feelings, we're supposed to be more feminine. Not to mention, you know, with the gaming, the reality television, the social media, men have lost their way in a lot of ways, as then they're not out there doing the things that made them men before. They've become washed down, watered down, computerized versions of themselves. And I hear women complain to me about this all the time. It's funny because when you listen to the mass media, they talk about toxic masculinity and how men are alpha males, that's toxic. But when I do coaching with women, they're constantly complaining to me about men not acting like men anymore and being soft and acting like women. So you have the mainstream pushing men to be one way, basically not a real man to a certain extent. And then you have women complaining that they're not real men to a certain extent, that they're watered down versions and they're very feminine. So where's the fine balance in that, right? I think part of the issue is that we are about 3 generations in of men being raised by women. And what happens with that is when you don't have a man around to teach you certain things about being a man, how you should treat your family, how you should treat your wife, how you should treat your kids, how to change a tire on a car, how to balance a checkbook, how to shave. The things you should do as a man, certain things you should know. It puts you in a handicapped situation. And it puts you at a disadvantage going into the world. My wife, she's constantly studying and reading, and about a month ago, she ran across something and had me come and check it out. And basically on there, what they were saying was that a woman can do an amazing job loving, nurturing, caring for a young baby and turning him into a boy and giving him everything he needs. But then it takes a man to take that boy and to turn him into a man. There's a lot of truth in that, because we are sending a lot of feminine, unprepared men into the world. And I feel like it is also contributing to the mental health crisis, because there is an identity crisis. Men are run off of testosterone. Women run off of estrogen. So you have these men that are hardwired naturally by the chemicals in their body to be a certain way. But you have the mass media and television and news and all this stuff telling you to not be that way, to be softer, to be this, to be that, and then they're raised by women, and they're in this identity crisis of not being able to find themselves. I listen to Dr. Jordan Peterson and the stuff he says, and there's a lot of truth in what that man says about what we're doing with men these days and how they can't control their emotions, and why a lot of these bad things are happening out of here because of these men being emotionally unstable. So I think that is one of the major issues out there. I also think another major issue is men don't work together to help each other. And what I mean by that is I run across a lot of successful men that judge other men because maybe they're more family oriented and they don't pursue financial goals as much as they do, or maybe they meet guys that are in great shape. They look at it as this like big Hulk dummies. And that cycle works in every which way possible, because then I meet, the big guy that could protect his family and do a lot of stuff and change the tire in his cars. And he looks at the guy that has sold his soul for financial reasons like, man, you judging me, but if something happened to your family, how could you protect your family? And I'm looking at the intellectual guy that's judging both of them like, man, you should spend more time with your family. All you care about your finances. Or if you wasn't in the gym so much every day, you'd be able to spend a little bit of time with your family. It's all a bunch of BS, man. Let me tell you something. All of that is a bunch of BS. Because my entire company, my entire existence, and everything I do is about teaching people to be a better version of themselves. That's what BTBU stands for. It's what this podcast is named after. Be the best you. If you are truly going to be the best you can be all of those things. So when I hear people fighting and arguing or judging each other or looking at the other one sideways because they're one of those things or not the same as them, it really rubs me the wrong way, because you can be all of those things. If you're the financial guy that feels like, I can't never be no big tough guy to defend my family or nothing like that, yes, you can. Go take a couple karate classes, learn self-defense. You don't have to be the biggest, baddest person on the street, just know how to defend yourself. Take the time, put in a little bit of effort, just like you did to make the money. Also, go get a carrying license, go to the shooting range, learn how to shoot, problem solved. If you're the intellectual that has not invested in your finance and you're smart as hell, but you can't take care of your family, you're not that smart, are you? Because you, on your own, couldn't take care of your family. Or you're not in the best shape. If you was that smart, you'd understand that this is your only body and your health is everything. If you're the bigger, stronger guy and your finances is slacking, or you're not where you should be on an intellectual level, simple. Get a second job. Go back to school. Find something you're passionate about and change the direction of your work career. Because if you find and work in a field that you're passionate about, it will stop being like a chore. It'll stop being work. You'll enjoy it because it'll be your passion. You'll be able to be successful and make more money. Pick up books, read. Check out the Khan University online. It's free college education. Set the phones down for a little bit. You could be all of these things. People try to put me on a pedestal and say things about me and everything, and I'm very quickly to say, hold up. I'm no different than any other man. The only difference between me and most people is that I have this burning desire in me to be better every day. I tell people I'm a man and I'm a flawed man, but I have this burning desire in me to be better at everything. So every single day I don't settle for where I'm at. I push to be better in every aspect of life. I want my car to be cleaner. I want to fold clothes better. I want to be better at cooking my dinner. I want to be better at everything. You shouldn't just say that I'm good at this or good at that and be okay with it. You should be the one to fill out your cards and send them to your family and friends. You should be the one to take your car, your wife's car, and wash it for her. You should be the one to give another man a shoulder when he's down and out and help him get right. You should be the man that protects the family. You should be the man that provides for the family. You should be the man that if the kids come to ask you a question, you're intelligent enough to answer and give them great advice, help them with their homework, help them grow and send them off to the world prepared to be great. There should be no area that you don't address on a daily basis to become better. You are shortchanging yourself. And we as men have to stop going against each other and help each other. There's this idea out there that you can't be some of these things and the other. It's not true. Let me tell you one of the greatest lessons I was ever taught in this world is about my grandfather when I was a young man. He said to me, son, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter if you walk into a room with 100 men or 100,000 men. It's okay to be the toughest man in that room, but it's also okay to have the biggest heart in that room as well. And I've tried to live my life like that. People see my stature or know certain things about me, and they look at me a certain way. But what you also don't know about me is I take 2 or 3 hours of my life every single day, and I read and I study. And I make sure that I'm in that gym taking care of my body, eating and drinking what I should be, loving my wife and making sure that I have an amazing relationship with my wife, my kids. I take my free time and I help mentor other kids, coaching people, helping people, doing donations. It is okay to be every type of man. There's no limitations on what we can do except for what we put on ourselves. Stop putting limitations on ourselves. And too many times, people are like, oh, that's just who I am. No, that's just who you're choosing to be. Because you can be anything and you can fix anything. Man, let me tell you guys something. Do you know how many times I have people come to me for life coaching sessions or relationship coaching sessions? Recently I had someone come to me and they said to me, man, that's just how I am, and if people don't like it, they can leave it. I don't care, man. And I said to them, what do you mean? That's the problem. You don't have to be that way. You can change being that way right now. You're choosing not to. So the problem isn't these people, the problem is you. We have to get this mindset of, well, that's just how I am. No, that's just how you've been. Doesn't mean you have to be that way right now or going forward. You have the ability to change. We all have the ability to change. The problem is too many people just talk about it and they don't actually put forth the action to make it happen. I challenge everyone out there in 2023, go up to that chalkboard and wipe it clean and start over fresh. It doesn't matter what you've been doing, what you've been through, what your attitude was like, where your mindset was at. Say to yourself, I'm going to start writing on this board, and I'm going to start from scratch, and every single area I'm going to do better at. Every single area. I'm going to do better at cutting my grass. I'm going to do better at paying my bills. I'm going to do better at talking to strangers. I'm going to do better at cleaning my house. I'm going to do better at spending date nights with my wife. I'm going to do better at everything I do. I'm going to do better at drinking water. I don't care what it is. You can do better. So don't think because you succeeded in a few areas that it makes you okay to be average or okay, all right in some areas. It's not. Because you have the ability to be great in every area, you just choose not to. Don't be lazy. We all have the same amount of time in a day, 24 hours. And for those of you that say, I don't have the energy, I challenge you to eat better. And you say, what does eating have to do with energy? Everything. Look it up. It affects all of that. Your sleep patterns, your energy, your depression, your moods. Eat better. Sleep better. Think better. We are a product of our own thoughts. 2023 is a new year, man. Let's not take those old attitudes. 222's over, 221's over. All those years are gone. It's a new year. So if you are someone that was raised without a father, and there's areas that you struggled in as a man coming into this world, into this society, then find a male mentor. Find a father-like figure or a big brother figure that can help you with some of those areas. And don't be scared to open up and ask for those things. We as men have to do better with that. We have to do better at opening up and asking for help. And we have to do better at helping those that need help and having each other's backs. If you don't know anyone and you're listening to this video or watching this video that can help you in any of these areas that you're struggling with, all of my information is on here. Reach out to me and I'll be the one to do it in any way possible that I can. It's the reason that I'm designing these workshops behind the scenes right now that I am, and I'm going to do these retreats and bring men in and help men get through things and get over things so they can become the best version of themselves and they can become better men. And if you guys out there are struggling with any mental illness, if you're not right, if you're not feeling right, if you're down, if you're depressed, if you're having bad thoughts, if things aren't right for you, then seek the proper treatment. Seek help. Seek professional help. Trust and believe there are people out there that will help. You have to ask for help though. You can't hold it in and hide it and expect it to get better. It won't. You have to ask for help and you have to receive the help. That's the only way things will get better. Guys, I tell you, man, stop watching what you see on the news and they're telling you. Stop paying attention to this BS on social media. Stop watching this reality television. Back away from the video games. Get this mentality out of your head and stop letting those things brainwash you. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you have to look this way or act that way or you have to have this or you have to have that. What you need to do is develop who you are, inside and outside. Become comfortable in your own skin. Have your own ideas, your own opinions. Be your own man. And there's nothing wrong with being a masculine man, even though in today's times they try to shame that and put that down. Do not be ashamed of that and don't let them put you down. And if you're one of the gentlemen that I was talking about earlier that fit any of those criteria, stop judging other people and fix the areas that you're slacking in. Because we're all slacking in certain areas and we can all do better. United we stand, divided we fall. We're all brothers and sisters in this world. Let's have each other's back. Let's show some love. Let's show some respect. Let's give some help to those that need it out there. Let's be a team, the BTBU team. I told you guys when I did this podcast that I was going to give you old school motivation style content. I wasn't going to be out here selling you packages, but I was going to be coming at you real, raw, and straight, and then I was going to give you information to help you become better versions of yourself. That's what I'm doing. I'm telling you that we can all do better. And in 2023, it's a fresh start for everybody. The ultimate goal is to become the best version of yourself. And how you become the best version of yourself is you work on every single aspect of your life. Make sure that your spirit and energy is right. Make sure your mind is right. Make sure your finance is right. Make sure your family is right. Make sure your physical being is right. Make sure everything in your life is right. That is how you can become a solid man and the best version of yourself. I hope you enjoyed this message on 2023 and being a man and basically having this fresh chance to be the best version of yourself and work on everything. I issue a challenge to everyone out there watching this. Make a list of 10 things you can do better on in 2023 to become the best version of yourself. And knock those goals out one by one until that list is done. And see how much better you feel about yourself and where you're at when you complete that list of goals. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in again for another episode of the Be the Best You podcast. Until next time, everyone, I'm out.